And I want to welcome everyone to the hearing this morning on derivatives clearinghouses, opportunities and challenges. The financial crisis revealed some significant weaknesses in our financial sector. And one of the most problematic was the over-the-counter derivatives market. Derivatives contracts involved the transfer of risk from one party to another. The total notational value of over-the-counter derivatives outstanding at year-end increased 645% from 1998 to 2008. A significant increase. Looking at it another way, back in 1998, 1999, derivatives were a relatively small part of the market, but by 2008, they were a huge and continue to be a huge part of the market. According to the Bank for International Settlements, at December 31st, 2010, the total notional amount outstanding was $601 trillion, with a market value of $21 trillion. So these are huge potential benefits or dangers to the financial system. The sheer number and amount of over-the-counter derivatives transactions, which were not regulated by the SEC or CFTC, proved to be an accelerant during the financial crisis. Uncollateralized losses built up. By September 2008, one of the world's largest insurers, AIG, was on the verge of bankruptcy, triggered by its tremendous investment in credit default swaps. AIG had agreed to pay counterparties in its derivative transactions if certain credit events occurred. A series of market events required AIG to post billions in collateral it did not have. The imminent default of AIG would have cascaded throughout the U.S. economy, encompassing private companies, local and state governments, and retirement plans. Accordingly, the government provided hundreds of billions of dollars in extraordinary relief to AIG, most of which was paid to AIG counterparties. American taxpayers were exposed to billions of dollars in potential losses. As a result of that incident and others, the Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform and Consumer Protection Act of 2010 developed new rules for the over-the-counter derivatives market to insulate both the U.S. economy and the American taxpayer from any future extraordinary losses in this area. The new rules of the road require the use of centralized derivatives clearing organizations or clearinghouses. Clearinghouses aren't a new invention. They've been a part of financial transactions for a long time, dating back to European coffee and grain exchanges of the late 19th century, and in the United States, the 1883 creation of the Chicago Board of Trade and the futures market. It later became the Board of Trade Clearing Corporation and served as a counterparty in all transactions on the exchange. Clearinghouses place themselves in the middle of transactions, reducing counterparty risk by mutualizing exposure. Clearinghouse transact business with clearinghouse members, and customer losses are absorbed by these members. Clearinghouses deal with risk by constantly evaluating and requiring the posting of margin or collateral as insurance. In the Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform Act, the mandate to trade and clear standardized derivatives is the foundation upon which a more transparent and competitive swaps market may begin to flourish. Clearinghouse and swap execution facilities, SEFs, should allow for better price discovery, more efficient allocation of capital, and a healthier and more resilient derivatives sector. The purpose of this hearing is to examine both the opportunities and challenges posed by a marketplace dependent upon clearinghouses. How do we ensure that the clearinghouses themselves do not become significant risks to our economy? What issues affect their safety and soundness? What are the best practices in structuring, governing, and controlling derivatives clearinghouses? How do we minimize conflicts of interest? What barriers to clearinghouse membership or services exist? All of us has vested interest in making sure these new derivative clearinghouses function safely and fairly. And we know from past experience, market players are concerned principally with their own positions and do not always think of the market as a whole when they recommend what the new rules of the road should be. Hopefully our hearing this morning will be focused and help everyone focus on the bigger issue, making sure that these risks don't again overflow onto the American taxpayer.